So what is somatic coaching? Well, I want to start out by saying that I personally have experienced more lasting change from this particular healing modality than I had from about 10 years of psychotherapy. And that's part of why I'm so passionate about sharing it. Maybe you're like me a little bit, where I got tired of my therapist saying, oh, well, great, you understand the issue, you know why you're neurotic in these ways, but it's not really changing, is it? It is healing through the body. So what we mean by that is really getting to know how our body reacts under pressure, what we call conditioned tendencies in the lineage I'm in, the Strozzi Institute. And so that can mean when I'm under pressure, I move against, maybe a bit of a fight, I move away, I flee, or I move towards and overextend and take care of. And rather than shaming ourselves for having those reactions, we learn to tend and befriend them, explore what they were taking care of, whether that was safety or belonging or dignity, doing actual practices where we feel under pressure, we feel all of those sensations come up that maybe make us want to run away or shove someone, and we learn how to sit with that and feel it so that we can really respond rather than just react. What's so powerful and fun is that these practices are so embodied, and it's based on a premise similar to if you've read Body Keeps the Score, that really our tissues hold our memory, hold our trauma, hold our conditioning. And if we really want to make lasting change, we got to change it at the level of the body and sensation. So one basic practice is called the grab practice. And it's a way for us to get to know our conditioned tendencies and practice responding rather than reacting. Let's say you are working on a declaration about speaking up at work. And let's say that your boss recently said something kind of like, oh, thanks, but that's not really on the mark, or that's okay, why don't you let us just talk about this? Something maybe condescending or maybe even infuriating. And let's say that your normal reaction to that is, when you hear that, is to really shrink and sort of flee. That impulse comes from sensations in the bodies that tell us, ooh, this isn't safe, or we're not sure how to deal with this. Let's run away to make sure that we stay safe or dignified or have some sense of belonging. And you would have told me some lines that are gonna evoke some of that, I'm under pressure, I wanna do something. And then I would start saying those lines, and I would also grab your wrist. And that combination really tends to get people feeling, whoa, I'm feeling this impulse to run away. But what is that impulse? Where is that coming from? Well, maybe it's a tightening of the traps, or it could be some pressure around the ears or the temple, or it could be sweat pooling in the back of your lower back. And as we get to know these sensations and get familiar with them, we open up more space where, rather than just I feel it and I react, it's I feel it, I realize it might be an unpleasant sensation, but I don't need to react right away. I can decide what's really aligned for me right now. Well, if my declaration is to speak up, then why don't I just center through this, feel these sensations, and see if I'm in a place where after that I can speak up. So I found this personally really helpful with anger, which is one of my conditioned tendencies, one of my shapes. And it's been such a blessing to, when I start to feel those sensations, whether that's a rising energy in my chest, or some heat in my face, or tightening and contraction in my shoulders and arms, that I really use those as cues to say, oh, maybe let's slow down for a second, let's recenter, and let's decide how we want to respond. So there's a number of standing practices, but I think that gives a good sense of what we'll be